For this design I will be using small rainbow moonstone teardrop shaped cabs. This stone is 7mm in length. Alternatively, you can use small drop beads. Keep watching till the end and I will demonstrate how to adapt the design whether your beads are top drilled or centre drilled. Start with a 12cm or 5-inch length of 0.8mm or 20 gauge round wire. Find the centre of the wire. At the centre of the wire, bend to form a shape slightly smaller than the stone. Mark the wires where they cross. At the marks, bend the wires parallel to each other. This is a 50cm or 20-inch length of 0.2mm or 32 gauge wire. Start with a 0.2mm wire between the parallel wires. Wrap twice around the top wire. Wrap twice around the bottom wire. Repeat this pattern. I have wrapped an area of 4mm. Below the wrapped area, bend the wires to match the circumference of the stone. Where the wires cross, bend them parallel. Wrap the weaving wire 4 times around the top wire. Wrap 4 times around the bottom wire, maintaining the gap between the wires. Return to the top wire and repeat the pattern. Continue the weave until the shape is filled. Bend the top loop forward at the woven area. Place the stone in position with the flat side against the woven loop. Push the top loop over the top of the stone. Lock the stone in position by wrapping the weaving wire around both loops at the base of the stone. Wrap twice at the base of the stone on either side of the parallel wires. Mark the parallel wires 1 cm from the base of the stone. At the marks, bend the wires outwards. Start with the weaving wire coming up between the parallel wires. Wrap once around the top wire. Bring the weaving wire to the bottom and wrap once around the bottom wire. Wrap twice around both wires. Bring the weaving wire back up between the wires and repeat the pattern. Weave to where the wires bend and remove the excess weaving wire. I have drawn out a hexagon shape so that I can check my angles. I am making the snowflake in 6 sections, so I need to match these angles. Bend the unwoven wires to match these angles. Measure 2 cm or 3/4 of an inch from the bend and trim off the excess. I am using the smallest setting on my bail making pliers to bend the cut ends inwards into loops. I need to make 5 more pieces the same. When you have made all 6 sections, it is time to weave them together. You will require approximately 20 cm or 8 inches of weaving wire for this part. Use the same weaving pattern as when we wrapped the parallel wires together. I have a 10 cm of 4-inch length of 0.8mm wire. I am using the largest setting on my bail making pliers to make a loop at the centre of the wire. If you don't have these pliers, use something round that is the same size as the empty circular area in the middle of your snowflake. Where the wires cross, bend the wires parallel. The parallel wires will become the bail, so line them up with one of the stones. Take a length of 0.2mm wire. You will need approximately 60 cm or 24 inches. Wrap the weaving wire a few times around the wire near the base of the parallel wires. Attach the ring to the snowflake by wrapping the weaving wire around both the ring and the snowflake where the wires meet at the base of each section. At the base of the parallel wires, wrap twice around both the wires and the woven section at the front. Now wrap around just the unwoven parallel wires. At the base of the stone, once again wrap twice around the parallel wires and the woven wires at the front. Continue weaving around the parallel wires until reaching the top of the stone. Thread the weaving wire through the wires at the top of the stone. Continue wrapping around the parallel wires. Measure 1 centimetre or half an inch from the top of the stone and trim off the excess. Continue wrapping halfway up the wires. Take the weaving wire and wrap it once around the bottom wire, once around the top wire, and repeat once more. Remove the excess weaving wire. Bend the wires inwards to form a loop above the stone. This will be the bail where you will add a chain or cord for a pendant, or some ribbon or string for a Christmas tree ornament. This adaptation is for a top drilled bead. This bead is 10 mm in length. The 0.8 mm wire is slightly increased to 13 cm. I have formed the first shape slightly smaller than the bead, just like before. I have 12 cm of weaving wire and will weave the wires together in the same way. Weave for 5 mm. The second shape is the same size as the first, slightly smaller than the bead. Fold the top loop down to be in front of the other. Place the bead in position between the two loops. Thread the weaving wire through the hole in the bead. Wrap the weaving wire a couple of times around the back wire. Thread the weaving wire back through the bead hole. Wrap a few times around the back wire and trim the excess. This piece of 0.2mm wire is 30 cm or 12 inches. Make one rotation of the weaving pattern from the first snowflake. Lock the bead in place by wiring the two loops together at the base the same way as before. Continue the rest of the snowflake in the same way as the first. This bead is the same shape and size as the first, but is centre drilled. Start this wrap in the same way as the top drilled bead, with two shapes slightly smaller than the bead. Make a small space in the middle of the woven area and thread the weaving wire through. This length of weaving wire is 16 cm or 6 inches. Bend the top loop down in front of the other. Thread the bead onto the weaving wire. Lock the bead in place the same way as the previous design. This is the completed top drilled bead design. I have added a centre bead as an optional extra to the centre drilled bead design. Thank you for watching. Please join me for my next video.